Hi everyone, it's Anja here and I'm back with another video for Ophelia Talks. And today it's week 6. It's our assembly of our mystery cowl of a project that you didn't know what you were making. So let me first of all show you the parts that you need to have made over the last few weeks to just make sure that you've got everything. So we have week 1 here. That were 16 Ophelia squares, and then here we have the dainty clusters of week 2. So week 3 was 2 identical brightly colored panels, and I just loved making those. Okay, so we have week 3, 2 of these panels, and then we have week 4. Week 4 gave us a 3D Ophelia square, so we have 3D flowers on our square, and we made 5 of those squares, all different colors. So make sure you have your 5 squares. Then we go to week 5, where we made again 2 rectangles, but this time they were made up of 2 squares each joined together. And of course we also made Ophelia squares in the center of that. So now it's time to start the assembly. Okay, so first part of the assembly, make sure you have all your parts and that all your ends are sewn in, right? Then part 2 of the assembly, you're going to need your webbing. You're going to need 2 of the 3D Ophelia squares from week 4. You will need some pins or some safety pins to do a mock-up. You will also need your sewing needle and thread. Of course, also your crochet hook, your meadow, your scissors and your darning needle. And that is what we will use this time to make something that we will then use in the next video to complete the whole project. Okay, let's make the bag. Take 2 of the panels you made in week 4, and we are going to crochet them together, and we are going to place them with the 3D flower facing up. So you place one on top of the other, okay? Or this one on top of that one. And with your leftover meadow and your crochet hook, you are going to single crochet them together. So I'm making a slip knot, insert your hook, and we are going to get started in the corner chain space here. So you insert into the corner chain space of the first square through to the corner chain space of the second square. And you are going to do a single crochet around both the chain spaces. Then I'm going to do another one just for good measure. Then we're going to have a look at the tops of our stitches, and be careful because this one tends to sort of lean in a bit, so make sure you've got your V's facing up like I have here. And we are going to be picking up the inner loop, so that means on this square, the square facing you, you're going to be picking up the back loop, and then the way you're looking at this square here, you're going to be picking up the front loop. So the inner strands of these 2 V's lying adjacent to each other, those are the ones you're going to pick up, and you're going to do a single crochet. So pick up the back loop here, pick up the front loop there, and do your single crochet. So the inner loops are picked up. And this is what you are going to do along the 3 sides. So one side is going to stay open because, of course, it's going to be a bag. Okay. Let me just continue. This is what it looks like. So I will see you when I meet the corner. Okay, I've just made it to the end of the row here. As you can see, it tallies up. Oh, I'm so happy. And now I've got my chain space to deal with. So there I am going to do 2 single crochets, a chain, and another 2 single crochets to make my corner. There we go. And that makes a really lovely little corner. So now you're going to continue along this side here. Then you do your corner and you do this side here. That makes 3 sides. And we are making sure that we leave this side open. Okay, so I've come to the end of my 3 sides and I'm just doing 2 single crochets in that last chain space there. So I'm going to cut off this yarn and I'm going to sew in the ends, and look, this one is still open. So let's pull this out. There we go. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the webbing. You're going to put this inside out. Okay, and you're going to attach the webbing over the edge here. So you will see that this is now quite a wide green part, and so this webbing will fit on there. Now I'm putting it quite low down because I want this part of the webbing to give some stability to the bag, but this is also going to allow you to make the webbing the length that you want. So this is where the pins or the safety pins come in. If you want to live dangerously, use the pins. And just sort of attach it to the crochet like this. Attach it to the crochet like that in a few places. And go into your bag like so and attach it a bit more. I'm just doing it with the pins because it's quicker for the video. And when you've done that, you go to the other side and you do the same thing. And then you're going to have to try this on. So you put it on your shoulder, see how low the bag comes, see that your hand sort of goes in it to about the base of the bag, you know, where you normally would have a bag hanging on your body, right? If it's too long, if it's too short, you're going to have to amend the positioning. And that's why I like doing a mock-up with the pins, so that at least you have a second chance of attaching this webbing, okay? So now it's up to you to go and try this on. Okay, so I am back. I've measured my webbing. So this is the length that I'm going to attach to my actual bag. So the corner I think is about there, and my hand sort of reached to about there. So I have now attached the webbing again a bit straighter than it was, sort of in its final position. So I've made sure that the crochet is sort of, you know, straight along it like this, so it runs along the row of the crochet. And I'm going to get started over here, but when we get to the other side here where your frazzled end is, I'm going to fold it over and sew around it like that, so it's nice and tucked in. And then here, to get started, I've got a piece of thread onto my needle. I'm going to make a double knot at the end, so I stop it pulling through. There we go. There we are. And now I am going to just go under the webbing from about here, and I'm going to come out here or thereabouts, or see where I come out anyway. Okay, so yeah, no, not there, just on the very edge there. Can you see where my needle is coming out? So just from under the webbing, so that our knot is just behind there. Okay, and now I am going to do little stitches. The easiest way is to go up and down. You just have to get into a rhythm here. The webbing is quite thick, so doing it sort of slanted is not so easy, although I'll try and show you. So you come back up and you just do tiny stitches all along the edge, and you through, of course, the crochet as well. Let me do a few more just to show you. And if you have a piece of sewing thread that's the same color as your webbing, of course, then it will just disappear. Mine is just about the same color, not identical. It doesn't really matter. You're not going to see it that much. You could, if you use a contrasting one, you could even use a pink one, and then make sure your stitches are nice and tidy so they are a feature. Okay, I don't know whether you can actually see my stitches. There we go. And then if you turn it over here into the crochet, you can't tell at all. Okay, so this is how I am going to continue. So I'm going to follow this line of crochet here, putting my webbing nicely on top of that. And like I said, up and down makes it easy. You can, let me just show you, do it sort of a bit more slanted, making sure you go into the crochet. Yeah, that works as well. But I found, you know, sort of to get used to the webbing, because it's really thick, you might just want to be going up and down. There we go. And generally I tried to have a piece of sewing thread that was long enough for this side, and then under here I started my other side. So like I said, fold this over and then sort of work your way around that one, and then start a new one in here so you don't see the end, and then work your way up. So here I've already done that, and so this is how I finished that end off. So you can't tell that the, you know, frazzled end is in there. So hold your hand into the bag, make sure you don't attach the things together, okay? Make sure you're just attaching one side of the bag to the webbing here. And yes, I have been scratched by my pin, so do be careful. It's the hazard of the job. So sew along the edges of the webbing, making a large rectangle. Okay, I'm going to get on, and I will see you when I've put my handles on. Okay, so I've made it all the way around the handle here, and now here, this part, I am really going to make sure that it's secured nicely. So I'm going to go to the front now, or where the crochet bit is, and I'm just going to make sure that this is sort of nice and straight across the webbing, and that it's nicely secure as well. So that way it's, you know, very straight and it looks better, and it's tight, secure. There we go. Look, that's already looking better. And I might go over it a couple of times, but the main thing is that you need to leave this. So what lies over the webbing here, you need to leave this free, because you need to get into it with your crochet hook again in the next video. Working just around the edges of the webbing should work. Okay, so I'm going to just finish this off here. Okay, so I've now got a bag with my handles on it, and I've got one flower on the outside, one flower not. And then here, when you take it inside out, so where you have your single crochets, again you have one side with a flower and one side without. So good luck making the bag, and I will see you in the next video for the rest of the assembly. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!